Hi, I'm Amber. Welcome to my booktube channel. I am new to YouTube, but I'm not new to reading, and I wanted to have a creative outlet to share my books and what I like to read, so here I am. As a booktube newbie, I understand there's some commonly asked questions, so I'm gonna go through that so you understand a little bit more about me and what's gonna hopefully be on my channel. I started this as a creative outlet. I am trying to be more creative and reach my creative side. I've always been an avid reader, so I figured this would be a good way to go. It's a niche I'm familiar with, and as someone who also struggles with memory problems, I think this would be a good way to document what I've read, what I did or didn't like about something, and I myself can go back and watch it and remember. What is something fun or unique that I am bringing to YouTube? Well, I think my opinions will probably be unique, as well as I am such a mood reader. I read such a variety of genres and books and authors that hopefully that will be unique to you. I'm not just gonna stick to just romance or just thriller or horror. I kind of go across the board even within the same day. So I think that will be unique to my channel. Why do I love reading? I think it's pretty universal for most people to be able to experience things that I never would have experienced. I also have a very visual brain, so it's literally like watching a movie for me. I can hear what's happening, I can see what's happening in my brain, and so when I'm reading, I am fully immersed. What got me into reading? I think as a child, there were a lot of things that I didn't want to experience in real life that was happening in my home. So I would read, and kind of that was my way of escaping. And I think as a child who didn't have a lot financially, it was a very easy way to entertain myself. Also, a little fun fact, when I got in trouble as a child, I got my books taken away. That was the biggest punishment for me, was having my books taken away. I think some challenges that I will have with booktube is just knowing when to stop talking, because I can just ramble and ramble and ramble about things, and at some point we just need to cut it off and not keep going, because enough is enough. I've said what I need to say. Let's not ramble. I also am probably going to be doing a lot of editing on cutting out and like, because that is something I need to work on with my vocabulary. So that will definitely be a challenge for me. I started reading, like I said, as a child, and it has just grown over my whole life. And I literally read all the time. I spend a majority of time on my phone in my Kindle app reading. I read in the car. I read while I'm waiting for things. I read in pickup lines. Literally any chance where there's downtime, I have a book. I always have a book with me, and if I don't, I'm on my Kindle app. Where do I read? This right here is my favorite reading corner. I'll give you a little mini tour of it. It's a really cool chair that I got recently, and it is the most comfortable place, and it's in my bedroom, and it's quiet. I have 2 young kids, so I love to come in here and have my quiet space while they're with Dad playing. What kind of books do I read? Just about everything. I have memoirs, I have read historical fiction, I read thrillers, suspense, I've gotten into some horror recently. Almost any book that has any type of thread of romance in it, I will try it. I have old Nancy Drew books that my mom handed down to me. I've read Harry Potter, I've read ACOTAR, you know, all the big fantasies. I have historical fiction. I have read just about almost everything, and I'm always willing to try something new. So if you have an underrated book recommendation, I would love to hear it. My top 3 genres, I would say, are contemporary romance, fantasy, and historical fiction. I think are my top 3. I love Kristen Hanna. I love Lisa Jewell. I love Pin Cole. I love Sarah J. Maas was a big one this last year. Throne of Glass was a great series. And I just started getting into Brandon Sanderson. That's one of my books I'm currently reading right now. So I'm excited to get into his world. I like some dark romance. I like Closed Door. I like YA, the Cruel Prince trilogy, the Inheritance Game series, just about everything. It's kind of like a whole gambit. What does my book collection look like? I will show you. This is my whole book collection. This is my closet. It has been transformed from just a big room with a pole around it to half is my closet and half is my office. So this is where all my books are. I have one whole side that is regular fiction, historical fiction. I have romance up here. This is my old Nancy Drew collection. I have my fancier, prettier books right here. This is my whole entire Harry Potter shelf. And then from the top down, you have Game of Thrones. Sarah J. Maas has her own shelf. And then all my fantasy and YA reads. I believe I have about 250 books in my collection, and that is still growing. So definitely be on the lookout for some book hauls because they're coming. So now you've gotten to know a little bit about me, where I like to read, what my book collection looks like, what kind of stuff I'm going to talk about. My next video will probably be what I read in January and what I thought about it. And if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see or what you want to hear about, I would love to hear it. Thanks for listening, and I hope I see you next time.